Time for another episode of Pottawattamie County Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. As you may remember, I'm sure you do, that this show was called Local Roots, and it was a little bit more widespread. It covered multiple counties, and what we found was there's just too many stories to get into one show. So that was when this show was rebranded for Pottawattamie County, and we added another show called Mills County Roots, and that hosted by Carlene Hall, who is a longtime resident of Mills County, has been doing very, very well. And the area has responded strongly. Ton of views, just a ton of what is happening throughout the first month of Mills County Roots. And I thought we should bring Carlene in just to see how it's going, find out from her point of view what it's been like to have all of these conversations with the folks in Mills County. And it's a chance for us in Pottawattamie County to learn a little bit more about there. And hopefully you can take a listen and a watch to what Carlene is doing and maybe add Mills County to your list of places to make day trips to from our area. And we all kind of in Southwest Iowa, one of my favorite things about Southwest Iowa is the community feel that we have across the region. And that is why we want to be able to support each other. And this is another example of doing that. So Carlene Hall from the show Mills County Roots joining us today on Pottawattamie County Roots. Primrose Retirement Community in Council Bluffs believes home should be a place of comfort, connection, and care. From personalized support to engaging daily activities, everything they do is designed to help residents live fully and confidently. That's their priority, putting the quality of the residents' care and daily needs at the top of the list each and every day. Learn more at primroseretirement.com and then contact Jamie Bush at Primrose to discover a place that truly puts people first. In the heart of Walnut, Frosting Inc. is your sweet destination for gourmet cupcakes, cookies, and artisan baked goods made with care and creativity. And they've been delighting customers with exceptional taste and hometown heart, and all you have to do is just step inside that storefront. You'll also find small batch candles, homemade jams, local honey, tallow-based skincare, and artisan snack mixes. Frosting Inc., more than a bakery, it is a celebration of quality and community. Well, as we mentioned, when we split off of the old Local Roots format and created Pottawattamie County Roots, we then added a show, Mills County Roots, which is hosted by Carlene Hall, who is sitting here. And all right, Carlene, when we started this, I think that we had talked about it, and I said, look, the views are going to come. We just need to start doing that. And what I didn't know was that the views were going to come the first day. This thing has exploded. We have a huge amount of support, a huge amount of viewership behind it. And a lot of that is due to your professionalism, and it's also due to Mills County just being ready, I think, to have someone come and pay attention.
Yeah, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Todd. This being on camera is fairly new to me.
Yeah, I know. We're all radio people.
Yeah, I did it a little bit through COVID. As you know, I did some entertaining online Facebook Lives through COVID, so I kind of got a little bit used to it. But it's a whole new ball of wax for me. So for you to say that I'm being professional about it, that's I take that as a big compliment, because you are a consummate professional and in radio, in your years in radio, and also in this podcasting arena. You've just been amazing and you're a great model to follow and to learn from. So I really appreciate that about you, and I appreciate being here. As far as the Mills County being ready for it, I think you're so right. But I think what's really resonating is that we are focused on the people, we're focused on the humanity, and we're focused on people, not just what people are doing, but why they're doing it. And one thing that's really been a theme on Mills County Roots is marrying nostalgia with future movement and the way it's happening in the here and now. Another thing that is really standing out is the combination of those generational families who've been in Mills County, many that I've talked to since back in the 1850s when the original settlement came through, So we have people there that were instrumental in getting it started. I interviewed Jan Zanders, whose family actually, she and her husband's family actually donated land to build the community on when they first settled the area, which is just, I mean, can you imagine the generosity? That's phenomenal. And to see the vision of building a community and what that was worth at that time, it just blows my mind. But then as well, we have a lot of people in Mills County that have been what we call transplants, right? So they come in and people who are outgoing and anxious to be a part of everything and willing to be a part of everything and have that generosity to give to the community. So the combination of those cornerstones, those long-time generational families, and people who are coming into the community new is just absolutely a phenomenal combination for building the bedrock of where Mills County is going. In addition to that, because of the rapid growth and development in Mills County, some people young people who have been jumping ship and going to get their experience in bigger, more active places are now coming home because they have a landing spot where they have great schools, they have quality of life. You're just around the corner in any of the communities from many amenities. Some towns are smaller and don't have as much to offer, but what they do have to offer is autonomy, and people love their autonomy. And I think that's one of the great things about living in the state of Iowa in general is we do enjoy some autonomy here.
When I first came to Southwest Iowa, it was, well, this year is going to mark 30 years,
Wow.
was the first time that I
Yeah.
came. And I learned very quickly that there's a community feel all across the region. And I've talked about it on this show and in other places as well, but I also think that that's a little bit of an incomplete description
Mhm.
of what this is. Because, yes, there is a community feel. You can go anywhere from Monona down to Corning, and a Southwest Iowa feel is going to be there. But each county and each community inside of each county has maintained its own individual identity.
Right.
And there is a little bit of a different feel depending on where it is that you go. Now, obviously, that Council Bluffs being what I call the biggest small town in Iowa, and
Yeah.
with over 60,000 people, it's going to have a completely different feel than when you start going to some of the smaller
Sure.
communities.
Yeah.
But at that point, you can take a look at what is happening in Mills County, and you can see the progressiveness that's happening. You can see the growth without losing the history. You see all of that. And what we needed to do, and because I did a show on it about local media needing to be local. We need to be represented by those that are part of our communities. So when the time came to create a show specifically for Mills County, I don't know that we could have found anyone better than you because you are there. You are embedded in Mills County.
I
You
love
live
Mills
there.
County.
You have for a couple of decades.
Yes.
So you understand
Yeah.
the pace. You understand the terminology. You understand what it is that the folks in Mills County identify for themselves. And that, in my opinion, is why this show has taken off at the speed that it has.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. I will tell you that it is a daily learning process because within the big picture, and the big picture changes all the time, the landscape changes, the different businesses that are in and around the area. There have been changes over the years. People hang a shingle, then their shingle will come down and a new business will go. Well, within that, there are a lot of personalities. So I'm on a daily basis, learning about personalities and building relationships that I hadn't built before. Um, the I think one thing that is helpful for what we're doing is that I have a lot of years of history in the area, Fremont County as well, and I am connected at least two generations behind me with people and their parents and their grandparents, because I knew them, and having worked in other areas in Southwest Iowa. And honestly, Todd, one of those most connecting jobs that I had in Southwest Iowa was working for Crawford Marshall Funeral Home in Sidney and Tabor. And I can tell you there wasn't a funeral I ever went to that I didn't cry right along with the family, because it's your neighbors, it's people you know, it's your family members, and working those visitations, you really bond with people and you bond with their families, and that resonates with me as a human being, and that is the connection that I make and that I love, and that's what I love about community. And so I think that maybe helps a little bit for the acceptance of what we're doing. And then on the other side of that, I love marketing, I love sales, I love business and entrepreneurship, and I'm really excited about what is developing in Mills County in all of those areas. So I think that too is helping it to work, because having been in advertising sales for 30 years, I kind of get what the business owners are looking for, and what they need in their advertising, and what demographic they need to reach, and what psychographic, and we are literally reaching every demographic and psychographic in Mills County on our dashboard on the Facebook side of this. In 6 weeks, we've had in excess of 75,000 views, in excess of 6,600 engagements on Facebook, which is huge. I mean, that's huge. People are engaging with what we're doing, and we've had over 15,000 unique viewers. So that tells me we're reaching Mills County and beyond, because I think the population in Mills County is 15,000. So we have a broad brush that we're painting with there in the market, which speaks volumes for what we're doing, but it also is an opportunity for advertisers to get on board and reach all those people. And we have, obviously, out of those 15,000, in excess of 15,000, they are watching multiple times, because we have over 75,000 views. So, and we're 6 weeks into this. So we have consistent viewers. I have people tell me that they're watching it, that they watch it every week, and they're liking it, and they're liking the conversations. And it's just exciting, because I love to sit down with somebody and have a conversation. And I've been able to do that, and been able to not only promote what they're doing, but to promote who they are, and getting to know the hearts of the people in Mills County, and to share that with the general public. It's a deeper understanding of your neighbors. We're providing that deeper understanding of who your neighbors are in Mills County, and I'm loving that. And it's not invasive. It's not invasive at all. I just open the platform for people to tell me what they want to be known.
You touched on something there with one of the biggest keys, I think, to what it is that you're doing with the telling of the stories and listening to the stories. I lost my dad 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago now. And I know that my dad, he used to combine cliches into something that makes no sense. And it used to be something that would drive me nuts. And now I'd give anything to be able to hear that again. What you are doing is preserving stories. The folks that you said that you cried with, the families that you cried with when you were at the funeral home, when a person passes away, we no longer can hear the stories from them. Now, if we have preserved them, and hopefully a lot of those are in memories, and a lot of them are pictures and they're home videos and things like that, then we can take those with us. But this is a longer form. And when you speak with someone and you learn about who they are and their vantage point from what happened, then that is something that carries on. It's not as if these shows are up for a day and then gone.
Right.
That's not it. They're out there.
They're out there.
And they're out there, and once they're there, they're there.
Yeah.
So we are helping to preserve the
Oral history,
the history of what's
yes,
happening,
yes.
the memories of what's happening,
Yeah.
and we're just getting a little snapshot of where that was at for 30 minutes or however long your interview goes right at that point. And that's a big part of what it is that we do.
I am just overwhelmingly blessed to be in the position to help do that, to help tell those stories. And I love it when those generational stories and that history is just part of an everyday conversation. For example, in Malvern, there are several buildings that were built back in, early 1900s, some back in the 1800s, and they're being repurposed. They have, like today, I visited the Ford building. It would be one of the oldest Ford dealerships in the country ever. It was one of, Mr. Sorensen told me today, it was one of 100 of the oldest 2 generations ago. So, that it was probably just one of the first dealerships, which was, I don't know what year Henry Ford opened the first factory, but it would have been pretty near that time, right? It was, what years are the Model Ts? 1920s?
Yeah, getting into the 20s, yeah.
Yeah, is that when it was?
Yeah.
Is
early 20s.
I don't know if they go older than that. I don't know when the first Ford came off the line, but it had to be one of the original. And that building was absolutely amazing. It had been very dilapidated, sat just empty as a storage building for many, many years. And they had to go in and do a lot of restructuring, new flooring. There were holes in the floors, and there were bad leaks in the roof, and it's been re-roofed. And they have put 8 absolutely stunning apartments in that building. And on the bottom floor, on the street level, there are businesses in that building. There is space for rent in that building, but there is a Wabash Coffee Company and Bakery, the newspaper, the Malvern Leader is there in the building. Side Street Styles Beauty Salon is there in the building. And they are renting their first apartment there this weekend. And it's just, it's phenomenal. And another building there is the building on the corner, the Kohl's Pharmacy building. That's another one. These are beautiful old sturdy bones brick buildings, and they went in, they gutted it, they rebuilt the inside of it, and now there's a Kohl's Pharmacy in Malvern, Iowa, and the repurposing of these buildings, and there's many on the other side of the street as well. And more down the street, the Classic Cafe, that's been a repurposed building. They're all up and down Main Street. But it's just really cool to hear what the buildings used to be and who was involved in them and what the buildings are now, and see where they're just laying a path for the future, for what could come in the future in the areas. This is where the nostalgia and the progression meet and are creating what's now. But like I said, it's also laying a foundation for what's in the future there in Malvern. And the same thing's happening in Glenwood. all around the square. Those buildings are being repurposed. You see construction around the square of new businesses coming in, and they're refurbishing buildings. And it's a beautiful thing that's happening because we have the best of both worlds in Mills County. You can have a very secluded, very rural life, or you can have your small town, what I call the Norman Rockwell lifestyle. One thing somebody I interviewed said that Main Street Malvern is a Hallmark movie. And it really could be. It really could. And the whole story could be a Hallmark movie. So you have movers and shakers in these communities and bankers in these communities that are loaning money for this progress, and it's happening. And then the general public, the consumers, the neighbors are supporting that by shopping local.
These are the stories that are important, and they become important even past the county borders as you start to look at other places. You know, I've mentioned many times that where I grew up in Northwest Iowa it's just pretty much gone. And there's a few people still living there, but the population of my hometown is decreased by 2/3 down to around 45 people left. There is more empty houses than people that are living in them. And when we hear stories like you just talked about, and we hear communities pulling together and they're saying, okay, we want to turn the page, we're going on to the next chapter, but we're not leaving the book. We're
Right.
we're hanging on to who
Right.
we are. To me, that can be inspiring to other places around the state as well. Now, somebody
Now, wait a minute.
had,
You just completely distracted me. Was that an off-the-cuff analogy that you just threw out there?
Yeah.
The book and the chapter? That's good stuff, Todd. That's real good stuff.
this is what it's like to be in the squirrel brain of me, and just a lot of things bouncing around there. But as we tell these stories, and these are the stories that have gone untold, except when you have somebody over for dinner that might be the neighbor, and you might reminisce a little bit about the way things used to be. But widespread, no. And if we don't do something to preserve that, then it's gone forever.
It goes away.
It goes away. So when you talk about whether it be organizations that want to get involved and come tell their story on your show, or businesses that might want to get involved to say, hey, we want to be a part of this and we want to sponsor this and give us an opportunity to tell our story too. All of those things. This is what you're preserving. This is a friend of mine that does insurance down in Bellevue, Nebraska. He told me a long time ago that he lives by a philosophy. You support your family, you support your church, you support your community. And he has lived under that mantra, and it's made him, he's done very well with his agency there. And I'm glad that I know him, because he was kind of an inspiration to a lot of the stuff that I do. We're just storytellers.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not our story.
Yeah.
We're a conduit
Yes.
for the communities.
Yes.
We're a conduit for other voices to be able to come out. So
Right.
if you'd like to be a part of that, we want you to be a part of that.
Yes.
Whether it's on Mills County Roots, whether it's on Pottawattamie County Roots, whether it's on Morning Coffee, whether it is on Still Serving Iowa Veterans, which is another great show that you are doing, whether it's on Bluff Sports Weekly, which is a chance to highlight what's happening around Council Bluffs with the sports show. There's so many opportunities and more on the way to tell these stories, and things can sometimes take on a life of their own past what they were intended, and I'm seeing that happening with everything that's going on here.
Yeah, it's great. It really is great. But on the structural side of that, there's not a day that goes by here right now that we're not in the process of restructuring, zeroing in on efficiencies and trying to figure this out, because the opportunities are just explode here every day, and we have to figure out, okay, how do we have time to do this and that and that and that but it happens. And that's one thing. The one thing I said to somebody I was talking to earlier today. When Todd and Kyle say they're going to do something, they do it. And if they have a concept, it could be a concept today, and by the end of next week, it could be reality. And I love that. I love that because that's progressive and it's forward. But at the same time, like you said, not only is it progressive and forward, but what we're doing is preserving a little bit of what's going on right now in this community and how in these communities, and then how that builds. You mentioned still serving Iowa veterans, and I am just um, so grateful to be able to be a part of Still Serving Iowa Veterans. We have a title sponsor, the Iowa Veterans Foundation, which does a lot for veterans across the state, and we are growing that organization. I am a part of that organization as well, as is my co-host on that show, and I have to say, I have a passion for helping veterans. I have a love for helping veterans. In comparison to Darlene, it all pales because Darlene is a veteran. Darlene has been serving veterans her entire life. She was the director of Pottawattamie County Veterans Affairs for 28 years. She serves as the chair of the Iowa Veterans Commission. She has served on every board. She was the president of the Iowa Veterans County Veterans Service Officers District 7, which encompassed the Southwest Iowa region, and she is just she's like an encyclopedia of information, and she stays on top of it. She researches constantly. She is an advocate for some individual veterans and helps them. I think she serves probably as a fiduciary for a couple of veterans. And so to have the opportunity to serve veterans and to have Darlene on board with that, and when I was in veteran services in Fremont County, she was my mentor. I learned so much from her, and she's such a great encouragement to everyone. That show, we want to serve veterans on a statewide basis. However, the information that we're putting out is even bigger than that. We're focused on Iowa, but what's on that show would resonate nationwide. So that's the nature of veterans services, and we talk about how to file your VA benefit, how to file for your VA benefits, how to make a claim. We talk about federal, state, local, and county benefits and what's available to veterans in each of the counties. And some of them is property tax exemption in some cases. And it, like I said, it resonates. And there are things that Iowa is doing for the veterans that some other states could jump on board and take a page out of our book. There really are. Iowa has been, for years, a leader in veterans services. So thanks for bringing that up and letting me talk a little bit about that. And again, you can see us on YouTube, Still Serving Iowa Veterans, and on Facebook, Still Serving Iowa Veterans. So if you know a veteran, if you are a veteran, check it out because there's great information there. And it is not limited to Pottawattamie County or Mills County. It's statewide. And like I said, share it with anybody that you know across the nation who could benefit from the information, because there's going to be some stuff shared there that could help any veteran in the United States. So
it's a tremendous resource and an overdue resource that kind of boggles me that you came to this and this doesn't exist out there. Well, why not? Okay, let's do it. I mean, I think we hit on that pretty fast. That when you came to us with the idea, I said, yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
I've always got the veterans ideas in my hip pocket wherever I go, whatever I do. I just can't stop talking about it. Todd, I am so grateful for our military. I'm so grateful for our veterans. And having worked in Veterans Affairs, I now have a deep understanding of the magnitude of the sacrifices more than I even did before. It's always been close to my heart, patriotism and being and appreciating those. I guess part of that is I spent part of my youth, my high school years in Southern California, was very near Camp Pendleton, and there were a lot of Marines in my life, and I knew what they were going through, and I knew from them being my friend and talking to me about veterans and what they do. I'm just so appreciative, and some of those young men that I knew back then are still my friends, and they're some of them are like fatherly figures to me, and it was just an environment that I was really grateful to be in, and that stuck with me through my life. So I've always wanted to do, and I have family members also that served, uncles and my stepfather, and so it means a lot to me. But it means a lot to me because I was able to raise kids in the United States, kids who have the freedom to choose what they want their life to be like, who have chosen, who've had the opportunity for education, who've had the opportunity to build lives, had the opportunity to grow up in an American lifestyle. And listen, we can't take it for granted. We can't take it for granted, and more so today than ever, because our country is facing some pretty serious risk right now. And I don't want to get political. I know we don't do that, but we as Americans, this is the people's country. This is our country, and I could get on a soapbox here. We need to pay attention to what's happening in our cities, our towns, our counties, our state. People need to get out and vote, because the voter turnout across the United States is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and each one of us individually has a responsibility to research what's going on, learn who the leaders are, and put the ones in office that we have a choice. It's not like we're poking somebody to go vote for a particular person. There are multiple candidates out there. Get to know them. Vote your preference. Just vote.
I couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah.
And we do some political interviews here, but we don't put a political slant on any of it.
Right.
And we make sure that I just had an interview on recently with Jim Carlin of Sioux City, who's running for the National Senate in the state of Iowa. And, I told him before we started, I said, look, this isn't about me. This isn't about my slant.
Yeah.
Yes, I do vote, but no, you'll never know who for who.
Yeah. Right.
And I want to give you an opportunity to tell your story in a way that matches who you are, so people can make a choice from that.
Right.
And
there you go.
that is what I feel is my role.
Yes.
Is to just let people see who someone is. And the way that you do that is not interrupt them, not interject my own views. It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about letting them tell you who their views are. And so, that's that's my own little political soapbox, which really isn't politics at all.
Right.
So, but anyway, listen, you're doing a tremendous job so far with Mills County Roots, and the fact that it has launched this well is inspiring to me, and I am excited to see where it comes over the next 6 weeks and where it moves on from there. I mean, this is uh, this you've started a rocket ship here. I don't know if you fully realize just exactly what's happening with this thing.
I'm just having fun, Todd.
But that's the point, and that's the point. And we talked about it before, when we were, whether it be here across the table or whether privately, you just be who you are. The more authentic you can be, the better that comes across. And it also encourages others to be who they are. And when that comes across, now you're just having a conversation, and that's what appeals to people. That's what we're recording. That's what the stories that we're wanting to tell, and we want you to come along for the ride with us. So Mills County Roots, available on Facebook, YouTube, and I think it's out on Spotify too.
I think so.
Yeah. So we're still getting a toe into Spotify here, still trying to navigate all of this stuff. But
okay, Todd, we can't let this end without talking about the major launch today.
Oh, yeah, the sports show.
Yeah.
So Bluff Sports Weekly, which this show is designed specifically for Council Bluffs. So it's going to cover the high schools and Iowa Western, who, by the way, how many national championships does a school have to win before people start paying attention? Holy cow. This, again, we've talked about it before. We're in kind of a media desert. So we just don't get the level of coverage that we need to. So I've been talking with activities directors about this. We're going to get young people involved. I talked with one today. He says, I got just the guy for you. He's already doing this kind of stuff. He wants to be a part of it. So you're going to start seeing students being a part of the show.
Oh, I love that.
Past just the athletes. So Craig Carlson, who there is no one better for this job than him, has already stepped in. It was impressive watching that man work, and being able to sit in on that recording and seeing and he's already forgotten more about sports broadcasting than I'll know, and that was my career. So he's been at this for a while. And obviously, we're going to have some growing pains with this too. I'm a huge believer that you do not wait for everything to be perfect before you get something started, because you'll be waiting forever.
Oh, yeah.
There's things that we will not know until we're in the middle of it. And I already learned. I'm watching back that first show and, we need to make an adjustment there. Mm-hmm. Oh, this needs to change here. It's going to be a process, but we're going to get there.
We are.
And we also need some stuff on the shelves in the background. So if you have any Council Bluffs sports memorabilia that you would like to, we're not asking for a donation. We're asking to borrow it for a little while. We'll set it there. We'll tell folks where it came from, and it still belongs to you, and we'll get it back to you. And we'd like to see that change out and to be able to show some of the history that we have with that as well. So that's just the latest step of what it is that we're doing.
Give the name of it.
It's Bluff Sports Weekly.
Bluff Sports Weekly,
Or as Craig affectionately called it, the BS Dub. So,
all right.
So that is out there. It's going to be a weekly show. We'll keep you updated across our platforms and when that's out there as well. So, Carlene, good job. Keep cranking them out, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next one.
Thank you for having me today.
Here on Pottawattamie County Roots, we explore the places that make our region home and the people who keep them connected. That is why we are proud to feature Marnie Elkhorn Communications, your local communications provider, serving Marnie, Elkhorn, Walnut, Avoca, and other Southwest Iowa towns with high-speed fiber internet, reliable phone service, and TV options built for rural living. With real local support and unlimited data plans, you get speeds up to 1 gig to work, stream, and stay in touch with family and neighbors. Visit metc.net to learn more. And finding the right care for a loved one can feel overwhelming. Assisted Living Locators is here to help. Jean Bonker brings more than 30 years of experience serving families and has personally navigated the challenges of elder care. She understands the questions, the emotions, and the weight of these decisions. Jean becomes your advocate, guiding you through options with clarity, compassion, and personal support every step of the way. Call Assisted Living Locators at 402-690-5467 so you can move forward with confidence. That's going to wrap up today's show. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I hope your week is launching well. Mine is, and I look forward to seeing you again back here tomorrow. My name's Todd Studer. Have a great Monday.